Hey, it's Giguk, and you're watching Pixel Party Pals. Woo! I got it right on my first take.
It is! Hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Giguk, and I think this is going to be quite hilarious. Interspecies reviewers, the peak of culture. Nux has done a few videos on this, and I'm interested to see where Giguk can go with this, because Giguk's just hilarious anyway. So to see his take on this is going to be something special. Let's get into it.
This video is sponsored by Crossing Void Global.
Okay.
Hi there.
Hi.
Do you need a break from jacking it to big, fat, anime, monster girl titty? Well, do I have the thing for you?
Yeah.
Crossing Void Global is an all-star turn-based mobile RPG with over 50 characters from 25 plus anime franchises, including SAO,
Right, so this will take my mind.
Toradora, Spice
Not that I had any issues with that anyway.
That's right. With so many franchises coming together,
That is a lot,
you
though.
might even be able to say that it's the most ambitious RPG project to ever be attempted on all your
My
favorite characters
God.
here with all their iconic moves that you can collect via the gacha system. The cross-world collaborations allow you to combine attacks and also allow for
Devil's
unique
part-time in there.
interactions. Hey,
We need a
are
scene
you
too.
feeling down because you can't make it to Coachella this year? See
Yeah.
renowned pop star
I just-
Hatsune Miku performing live? Well, you're in luck, because now in the
She's
month
in
of
the
March they're
game!
having a special Hatsune Miku collaboration event, as Miku, Luca, Rin and Len have all joined the fray as playable characters.
Whoa.
You can experience new banners, challenging
Oh
dungeons,
my
popularity
God.
polls among virtual singers, and fun rhythm mini-games. It's such an exciting
Cool.
event. Let's see what late-night American talk show host
Whoa.
David Letterman thinks of all this. What the fuck am I looking at? Click the link below to download it now on iOS or Android and get a free S-tier character or an A-tier Luca today, along with other rewards and exclusive gifts from the Miku event.
My God.
And now, back to fucking big titty anime monster girls.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to. 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 I'm trying to.
Oh my God.
Interspecies Reviewers has been that show that's been tossed around every hot topic in the discussion within the wider anime community this season, and understandably. It's a show that's pushed the boundary further than any TV anime ever has before, and it's gotten a lot of attention for that fact alone. I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw it on the seasonal chart and read the synopsis about a bunch of dudes in an isekai, not isekai fantasy world who visit monster girl brothels to review the sex, I thought to myself, brilliant.
Yeah.
This was gonna be
Oh,
some
God.
great, cheap meme material I'd watch for like 3 episodes and drop after the novelty of the ridiculous plotline wore off.
Yeah.
But then I actually watched it and I was like, oh no,
Oh.
I think this is actually good. I
Oh,
think
no.
this show has a lot of genuine merit behind it.
It
and a
seems
lot
so
of it is
weird,
getting
I've not
lost
watched it
within the
myself.
wider conversation of all the memes and controversies. So I wanted to bring the conversation back to the show itself, because all memes aside, I really do think this show has birthed a new genre. To me, Interspecies Reviewers is one of the most unique experiences you can find this season, and to properly explain why, we first need to answer, what exactly is this show?
Yeah, what is
this
it
an
called?
anime, or a hentai,
Hentai.
or an anti, or a haname? And if it is, then why is it not available on haname.tv? I think everyone's initial knee-jerk reaction was that this was just another edgy anime that just pushed the boundary.
Yeah, I
even
think that's
further
what
than
people
before.
thought at
If you're
first.
a regular viewer of my content, you will know that ecchi or fan service in anime has been getting more and more extreme slowly
Yes,
over the years.
it
But
has.
to me, there's always been a clear distinction between ecchi and hentai.
Hentai, yeah, of course.
And that is, well, sex. No matter how much nudity there was or kinky shit that was happening, ecchi was always about pushing the boundary as much as possible without showing full
going that
intercourse, or having
last
it even
step.
happen off screen. And
Yeah,
as such,
domestic
the biggest
girlfriend, oh my God.
differentiation in terms of approach is that ecchi comedies always came from the perspective of horny teenagers trying to get laid, and the jokes would be centered around that. While
Yes.
this show, on the other hand, is about grown-ass men who are actively getting laid. And you know what?
Nice.
I totally think there should be more ecchi anime centered around sex. Sex can be a hilarious topic that seems somewhat taboo in anime for some reason.
yeah,
so
can.
it already feels miles different from your typical ecchi anime, but regardless, I think the line is they don't just tackle the topic of sex, but show it too. Which brings it more into the world of hentai.
Yeah.
Right? And this is
Surely.
where the line gets a bit blurry. Anyone who's seen the uncensored version of episode 3 will see that, yep, that's definitely sex. I know what sex looks like, probably. To be clear, there have been sex scenes in anime before, but most of these are not shows that aired on TV, and none have come even remotely close to being as explicit or depicting how sex looks in your typical hentai, which includes many traits any fellow degenerate might recognize, such as... Dildo penetration. Tentacle-esque bondage and intercourse.
Oh my god.
Climaxing with ahigal faces. That's rabbit, you sick fuck. And of course, the good old hentai stomach bulge.
That's a rabbit. Oh my god.
Pretty much the only thing that was missing
Whoa.
was full pixelated genitals, an obligatory X-ray shot, and some fat ugly bastard appearing out of nowhere for every anime girl within a 10-mile radius to be like, hey, Vsauce, Michael here, come on in. So you can make a very strong case that it is a hentai, but at the end of the day, what really matters is, am I going to watch this to, you know,
Or
start
plot.
eating that meat, shaking hands with the governor, making the bold man cry, sending out the troops, whacking the kraken, choking out Charles, answering the bona fide. No, and that may sound contradictory coming from the same man that once said, bro, if you set your mind to it, you can jack off to anything. How can I say this? You definitely can, but let's be real here. There are far better things you can put on if you want something for that sole intent, which is exactly what hentai is made for. In the same way, I don't go on Twitter for the sole intent of seeing lewd anime girls, but I appreciate the fact that they appear on my timeline anyway. The sex scenes to me still serve a purpose outside of getting some PVs hard, but if it's not an ecchi anime and it's not a full hentai, then
What
what
is
is
it?
it? And this is why I found myself far more attached to this show than I thought I would be. As someone who's been watching anime for quite a long time, one thing I really cherish nowadays is whenever I get to experience something new. Even if I can see the inherent flaws in a show, or it's not exactly the peak of anime, I can hold something in much higher regard if I get to experience something I never have before. I hold Your Name really dear to my heart because it was the first truly anime cinematic experience I got to see in theatres.
Yeah, that's
The
cool.
creators will never be topped for the most fun meta time I've had as an anime fan. And now, Interspecies Reviewers has also joined those same ranks of showing me something new. Because to
Yeah,
me,
it
this
does
isn't
seem
an
very-
ecchi comedy, nor is it a glorified porno with a plot. This is the very first hentai sitcom. It's something that clearly resides in the same
Okay.
world and rules you see in hentai, but not
What?
something that feels like it was made with the same intent.
Huh.
Essentially, it's following a bunch of funny bros who found themselves in an episode of a hentai. The sex
Right.
scenes aren't the main reason to watch it, but it's totally natural to have them because it's set in a hentai. But I don't want you to think that just because it dared to set a comedy in a hentai that it's worth taking note of, because there is more to it than just that.
Yeah.
The comedy doesn't come from a simple place of shock and awe of, hey guys, look how much we're pushing the boundary. It's sex jokes with actual sex in it.
My
It comes from
God.
someone who quite clearly understands the hentai culture. There is way more substance than there should be in a show about a bunch of dudes banging monster girls, because, okay, real talk for a second
Right,
here,
okay,
guys.
okay.
I have never felt someone connect with my degeneracy as much as I have watching this show.
Really? Jesus. Oh my god.
It satirizes elements of hentai just as much as it celebrates it too. Hell, it even fucking looks like one. Tell me the art style and animation, especially during the juicier scenes, don't remind you of something like Yokuso Tsukebe Elf no Morie or anything else made by Bunny Walker. But that's what I love
wouldn't
about the
know.
show. The comedy itself might not be the funniest I've ever seen, but it scratches this itch I didn't know I had for hentai, not hentai content. Each episode has the guys going to a new brothel to bang a bunch of new species of monster girls, and what I find entertaining doesn't so much come from the punchline or one-liners, though it definitely has them, but the
Yeah.
sheer audacity and realization that someone has put this much passion and thought into their degeneracy. There has been genuine thought put into the smallest degenerates detail, from what different species value in their sexual preferences to the completely unique sexual experience every brothel and every species has, with no
things they offer,
discrimination for race, gender, age, or type.
So a lot of
Cyclops value
thought
females with
has
massive
gone
eyes
into
rather
it.
than massive tits. Elves have a thing for old human women because they still are way younger than younger looking elves.
Huh.
Species have an overall popularity of who is most dateable. It has more effective world building than most fantasy shows that take place in the same kind of setting, which is not what you would expect for a show like this.
No.
And that's why I can't even call the sex scenes gratuitous, because they help paint a better picture of what the experience is like.
What the
with
world
every
is like and everything,
species.
yeah, that's-
It's
wow.
literally
Huh.
great fucking world building. This is all coming from someone who
Whoa.
obviously watched way too much hentai and is able to come up with the ridiculous scenarios and jokes that only those well versed in its rules would be able to appreciate. Like, okay, imagine you have a room full of succubus.
Okay.
Succubus, succubi, whatever. You know, the whole concept of a succubus sounds cool until you find out they will literally not stop fucking you until you die. You are risking your life just by entering that room. What's the only thing that can combat such evil?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. How about a literal army of fat ugly bastards? How is that not genius? These stories feel like the shower thoughts you keep to yourself until you're up drunk at 3 AM with the boys and you've somehow found yourself creating a tier list for hentai tags, or arguing with each other about the intimate logistics that actually goes into having sex with a slime girl. And you conclude that the slime girl would hopefully have precise control over the pressure and temperature of the slime inside her body to simulate vaginal penetration, so it doesn't just feel like you're sticking your dick in cold, flaccid jelly, and then you wake up the next day and never mention the conversation again because no one in a functional society needs to know that you had that conversation.
No,
that's what
they
it
do not.
feels like watching this show. It is the literal definition of me and the boys hang out in a hentai. So if you're not someone who's invested in the finer details of this art form known as hentai, you probably won't find this show very appealing. And yeah, that's everything worth mentioning about interspecies reviewers.
Is it though?
Alright,
There we go.
A lot of the conversation about interspecies reviewers has been around the situation surrounding it, and everyone has already put their 2 cents in, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. All this started after episode 3 aired, and Funimation announced that they were dropping it because it fell outside of their company standards. Do I agree with their decision? Not necessarily. I mean, I've just spent a whole video
Standards
arguing
they
about the merits of
hold.
the show, but do I understand? Yeah. Episode 3 pushes the boundary more than any TV anime ever has before, and if a seasoned degenerate like me thinks it's basically hentai, then fuck,
everyone
how
else
the hell
is
are
going to,
other
yeah.
people supposed to see it?
Yeah.
Because this hasn't been an isolated incident either. It's also been pulled off Amazon and now 2 separate TV channels in Japan. So, do I think it's a shame that this show is getting pulled off left, right and centre of every service? No. I think it's fucking hilarious. Like, after episode 3 aired, I just imagine a bunch of guys sitting in a boardroom in silence as they are watching a transformed demi-human getting a dildo shoved up their ass from behind, and as the moans echo across the meeting room, one guy finally musters up the courage to say, guys, is this porn? Oh god, what have we done?
Loud.
I should probably mention quickly that it was one of the top rated anime on my anime list for a short period of time, thanks to anime YouTuber
Noxtaku, yeah, there we go.
to upvote it.
Bam.
There you go. Honestly, I think the whole discussion
That's a nice little mention, I like that.
has been more around the controversy surrounding it than the show itself, and I think that's a shame, because I am having a great time with this show, and I don't want people to get the impression that the only thing it has going for it is memes and controversy. This was a genuinely new experience for me, with a lot of passion being put into something I never thought I'd see be put into. And given the controversy that this show has gone through, I don't know if we will ever get to see another show like this again. I honestly have to give props to the anime team for how far they had the balls to take this, because if you didn't know, there were no sex scenes in the manga. In fact, you didn't even get nipple. There was no way for TV stations to know what
they just went all out on the anime. That's crazy.
The most explicit stuff was even in the source material. But you know what? I think they made the product better.
Wow.
In a plot that quite clearly took place in a hentai world, they aspired to turn that vision into a reality. During an era where we hear about an anime adaptation announcement and we think to ourselves, man, I wonder how much they are going to censor from the manga this time. These mad lads, these pioneers
the other
of
way
degeneracy went, oh, they took down Hentai Haven? No worries. In 2020, every anime site can be Hentai Haven. You get hentai, and you get hentai, and you get hentai. Cute girls doing cute things? Please. Now is the time for cultured men doing cultured things.
Amazing.
But you know, if TV anime is pushing the boundaries this much, man, I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in the world of hentai right now. Meanwhile, in the world of hentai...
where are we going now? What?
What the fuck? Hey guys, Giguk here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much to Crossing Void
Oh,
for being
that was
mad
hilarious.
lads and coming back and sponsoring me today. Even though this time I didn't actually talk about any of their IPs, and I was like, hey, how would you feel about sponsoring definitely not hentai content? They're also running a special giveaway right now. You can win Miku Expo 2020 tickets,
Oh, mate,
limited Hatsune
that was
Miku
so
series
funny.
acrylic stands,
Oh my
and
God.
an S-tier Hatsune Miku character in the game by just going to their Facebook and Twitter and sharing their post. All the info you need is available in the description. So yeah, if you want to try out Crossing Void today, click the link below to download it on iOS or Android. And with that said, thank you very much to Robert Hornborg, Walter, Zob Mondo, Weebologist Ricky, Changed Later, and everyone else on my Patreon for helping to sponsor me today. And look, whether you consider Interspecies Reviewer a hentai or not, an anime or an ecchi that has pushed the boundary further than any show ever has before, it doesn't matter because YouTube's going to demonetize this video anyway.
Probably gonna demonetize
if
my
you
reaction.
want to support more content on big, fat anime titties and the men of culture who pursue such dreams, then consider becoming a patron, and I would certainly appreciate that. Anyway, that's it from me today. No further updates.
I have a
I'm
Patreon.
Giga,
I forgot.
and I will see you
I
all
set that up
next time.
a few weeks ago, and I don't plug it at all. I might link it in the description, I'm not sure. I'm not expecting anyone to donate to it. But that was really funny. That seems like one hell of a bizarre anime. I missed all the Nuxtaku videos where he was talking about all that. I knew that he had, and that was nice that Giguk mentioned him, so that's cool. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, haven't already, leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch in future videos, and I'll see you guys, all you guys, next time.